Hello folks, I'm going to show you how to make your first soldered circuit today. I apologize for the camera setup. This is the best I can do for now. So this is a video I've been putting off because I don't want to set my desk on fire. I'm mostly kidding. We'll be mostly safe. But we are going to be using a soldering iron for a bit today. I've got it set to about 650, 680 degrees. And we're going to build this circuit right here. I'm going to use two LEDs. I'm going to protect them both with a resistor, and the battery I'm going to use is going to be plus 9 volts. So I'll be using a 9-volt battery. I have a 3-volt battery here just to test the LEDs. It's always good to keep a smaller battery for testing on hand. I've already gone through and worked through the Ohm's law calculation. I've solved, well, I remember Ohm's law like this: current is voltage over resistance. But for LEDs, you want to set it up a little differently. You want to solve for the resistance you need to protect your LED, and we're going to use the applied voltage, which is 9 volts, minus what we call the forward voltage, which is what the LED requires to run, and then divide that by the maximum current. So I've just done algebra over here, but instead of V, I've got V minus the VF, the V forward from the LED. So first I'll just test my LEDs, make sure they work. It's a real bummer when you put everything together. Okay, that one looks good. It's a bummer when you put everything together and the LEDs don't work. So those both work. That's good, so I'm done with this. I've solved Ohm's law for the resistance that I need, assuming that each of these LEDs has a forward voltage of 2 volts and that each one has a maximum current of 20 milliamps or 0.02 amps. And my frowny face is because I need a 350 ohm resistor. I've never seen a 350 ohm resistor. I do have 330, and this will probably work for now. This will work for today. So I'll go ahead and get out 2 of these resistors and set those there. Okay. Now I have my oops, not ready to solder yet. I'm going to use copper tape to make this circuit. This is how I teach soldering to beginners. And I'm going to make this, and what I'm going to do is just lay out this circuit with copper tape over here. And I've drawn a little bit in pencil, but I'll go ahead and fill the rest in. I'll have plus up top, so I'll have plus, and then I'll have my minus voltage here. This will all be in parallel, and this will be connected to my positive terminal from the battery and the negative terminal from the battery. Let's see, I'm going to draw where I put the tape. So this will be my LED. It'll have its own leads. And let's see, the long one is positive, so that'll fit about there. And then I'm going to put in a little bit more copper tape here. And let's see how I draw that. How about like that? And then I'll put in a resistor about like that. So I'll go ahead and draw that in too. And I'll go ahead and do both. One mistake that I see a lot of beginners make, I mean a lot of people do this, is people want to close this off at the bottom. See, I'm doing it lightly here because I'm going to erase it, because that's so wrong. No, 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 no. This is the real frowny face over here. See, this is an ambivalent face. See the ambivalence? Frowny. Okay, so don't close that off. If you do, that'll be a short circuit, and no electricity would have to go through these resistors or LEDs. Now, what I'm going to do, and the reason that I set things up like this, is I can just cover up some of the pencil with tape, with this conductive copper tape, and I'm just going to solder everything right on top of this tape. So it's like I'm making a circuit board. And this turns into crafts projects really quickly. And I'll put a little more in the middle there. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and start soldering. Now, my soldering iron's already hot, and I've got things set up. I'm going to not make this a how to solder video. I'm going to assume you can already do a little bit of that. Or actually, I'll probably make a separate video for that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to melt a little puddle of solder on this tape. There we go. And I'm just going to make puddles everywhere I need to connect something. And this stuff is really nice for beginners in electronics. This particular tape, the sticky stuff on the back actually conducts electricity. It's possible to do all this with just tape, but I need for my students to learn how to solder as well, so we do some soldering. Now I'll make sure I know which end is the positive. All right. Just as this is like a secret tip. If you look let's see if you can even see this in here. No, you can't. Okay. If you look very carefully inside an LED, you'll see that there's two parts inside there. A small part and a big part. And the small part always corresponds to the positive lead on the LED. So if you already have your LED stretched out like this, it's kind of a nice little trick to be able to tell which way it's oriented. Right. So now I'll just get the tip. Oh, sorry about that. I'll get the tip of the soldering iron just a little bit. Freshen up that solder because it conducts heat so much better if it's a little wet with solder. And then I'll just push straight down. Boom. And it's done. I'm trying to only hold the plastic of the LED. I don't want to hold that metal. But it's fine. It's cool enough now that I can touch it. And I'll go ahead and do this one. Just pushing straight down into the solder. I'm pushing pretty firmly, actually. And it's not melting right away, so I'm going to wiggle it and let it actually touch the solder underneath there. This stuff cools off really quickly. If it doesn't take right away, you can do what you need to do to make it stick in there without hurting yourself. Okay, it's stuck. You can just pull on things a little bit, make sure they stay. And now I'll take a resistor. Okay. Boom. See how quick that is? It's a great way for beginners to learn how to... Ow, wrong side. Come on, Burke. Bush League. I hope my students are laughing at that. Gonna have a little blister there. That was stupid. Let's see, everything is cooled already though, so I can snip these extra bits off with my wire snippers. Okay, these are my nice ones. If you are in my class and you see these particular snippers, these are the good ones. Be gentle with them, please. Right, everything looks fine. Now I'll go ahead and test it with a battery. Red's positive. Oh, okay. Hope I did this right. Wait, did I do that right? Oh, that's right. I flipped the paper around. Good. It lights up and it hasn't burnt out. That's great. Okay, I'm storing it so the wires don't touch and catch my house on fire. And now I'll go ahead and do the other one. And you'll notice since I've labeled these things that it doesn't matter that I flipped everything around. I can just look at my diagram and see exactly what I need to do. I need this to be positive, so well, there's the positive. So there we go. Easy as pie. Can't believe I just burnt myself on the instructional video. I think, well, I hope that's a good lesson for you all. I am wearing eye protection, so I guess that's a thing. Not really smarts. Just push down. Why isn't it melting? Oh, it went. Okay. And remember, your goal is to get this lead hot so that the solder melts onto the lead. I'll flip that around so I don't burn myself again. Okay. That's good. Cleaning off the soldering iron a bit. And the resistor. A little fresh solder. Make sure it conducts heat well. I use lead-free solder. I still don't like to breathe the smoke from my resistor go. Okay. I'm actually going to trim this a little bit before I start, just to make it easier for myself. And one thing I'm going to do to avoid burning myself again is I'm going to try to move fast. So I've got fresh solder on there. I cleaned it, put fresh solder on. There's solder down there. Now I'm going to press from further away this time. But I'm going to line everything up, and I'm going to just move fast. Okay, see how fast that was? And it's soldered. I didn't burn myself. I'll do it over here too, hopefully.